Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Summer is quickly approaching, and with that, state parks are gearing up for their busiest time of the year. But without enough workers, opening up fully could become difficult. WYMT's Dakota Makris reports on how one state park is looking for seasonal help.
Buckhorn Lake State Resort Park is preparing for a busy summer.
Some of the things we're doing is just making sure the grounds are ready. We went through all the rooms to do any repairs, that we need to do through the winter.
Park manager Chris Fugit says he is hoping to bring back in-person dining within the next couple of weeks, along with adding more buffets, which have been limited the past 2 years because of COVID.
We still do a lot here with reunions and stuff, and a lot of those reunions are people from this area right here where the lake is.
To help the season go smoothly, the park is looking to hire a handful of seasonal workers, including one full-time worker year-round. Fugit tells me he has brought on at least 3 full-time workers during his time at the park.
A couple cooks, a couple seasonal cooks, possibly 3. I'm looking to find a couple seasonal servers for a dining room.
He has a few of the open positions filled, but says each year it can be a struggle to hire enough staff, saying if you apply, experience in the position you applied for is preferred, but Fugit says they will teach you the ropes. In Perry County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
We are told the park already has 6 family reunions and at least 3 weddings scheduled for this year. School bus drivers in Clark County are sharing their frustrations with the school system. Today, a large number of them called out sick. It forced the district to move to NTI learning days. Today, the drivers say they called out due to concerns about safety and overcrowding. They met with the superintendent this morning.
We got to sit down and talk to the superintendent. She's very supportive of us, and I believe that from what she told us in there that everything's going to work out for the best.
Our sister station WKYT reached back out to the superintendent regarding bus drivers' concerns about threats and overcrowding. They have not heard back from her. April is Child Abuse Awareness Month. Supporters say Kentucky has one of the highest rates of child abuse in the nation. Today, health experts with the University of Kentucky talked about the signs of child abuse. Abuse can be physical, of course, but can also involve having prescription or illegal drugs easily accessible to children. Experts say there are resources out there to help.
Child abuse pediatricians, but also school systems are involved with this. Domestic violence shelters, over 120 partners across the state come together to promote what best practices are, build awareness, and then just advocate for policies that will help protect our children.
Several agencies have put out blue pinwheels to raise awareness in several cities, including Lexington and Frankfort. The candidates for mayor in the City of London will participate in a forum that begins within the hour. We will air it live on our second channel, Heroes and Icons, beginning at 6:20. That's channel 307 in Laurel County. The forum will also be streamed on Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, WYMT.com, and View It.
Cold air continuing to push into the mountains this afternoon. If you've stepped outside today, you've felt it. It's rather on the chilly side tonight, and we'll continue to see even colder air push in as we see clear skies overnight. That's led to the issuance of a frost advisory. Everybody under the frost advisory running late tonight into early tomorrow. So if you've already planted, you got the sensitive plants outdoors, either bring them inside, cover them up, do whatever you have to do to avoid damage, because it's going to get a little chilly tonight. Maybe not a hard freeze, but still cold enough. Hideout camera at UVA Wise, if you joined us for First at 4 about an hour and a half ago, it was all overcast. The sun's popping out now, mid-50s, or actually low 50s, right at 50 in Wise. Out front of WYMT, beautiful blue skies. Looks like a great spring afternoon. And then you feel the temperature. It's sitting at 59. We're in the upper 50s and low 60s around the region for the most part. The last of the clouds pushing out. So we're quiet tonight. Keep that WYMT weather app handy, though, because it will be rather on the chilly side as we head through tonight with those temperatures falling into the 30s. I'll have the details on that and when we'll start to see some warmer air push in coming up in just a bit. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. On Monday, Theater West Virginia made a major announcement. A documentary musical about the Upper Big Branch mine disaster is coming from the stages of New York City to southern West Virginia for one night only. It's called Coal Country. Jamie Lee Reichert tells us more.
It's been a little more than 12 years since the Upper Big Branch mine disaster happened in Raleigh County. It was April 5th, 2010, when 29 people lost their lives. Since then, an off-Broadway play. It tells the story of those who were lost and those who survived.
And I'm not much of a sculptor, and if I could have made a Mount Rushmore to these 29 men, I would have done it. So, everything that we're doing is done respectfully, and it's in the words of the West Virginians who lived it. We're documentary theater makers. We're not making stuff up.
The play is making its way from the stages in New York City to Woodrow Wilson High School's stage in Beckley. Veteran actors and Grammy Award winner Steve Earle will be performing a play depicting the disaster. It's called Coal Country, and it will be performed on Monday, May 9th at 7:30 in the evening.
I think we're going to have a full house that night to pay respect to those 29 and to their family members, and to tell the world what impact that had on our community. But as I always like to say, West Virginians are the greatest people in the world, and there's no tragedy that we will ever let anyone else define us. We'll always help each other through something like this.
There are scenes in this that are graphic when it comes to the aftermath of the explosion and what happened to the folks that were there that day, and one of the most important parts of the story is what happened to the people that survived, since it's their stories.
That was Jamie Lee Reichert reporting. It should be an interesting play. It begins at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, May 9th, and the theater can seat 1,200 people. Tickets will be free for the entire auditorium. The first 400 tickets are available, though, for family members who lost loved ones at the Upper Big Branch disaster, as well as survivors and former employees. All they have to do is email Coal Country Tickets, UBB, at gmail.com. Kentucky Writers are being honored in Frankfort today. This year's Kentucky Writers Day celebration was held in person at the state capitol. Governor Andy Beshear gave Poetry Out Loud state champion Lupita Diaz a medal. She also recited some of her work. Kentucky Poet Laureate Crystal Wilkinson also took the podium. She says she wants to amplify the voices of all Kentucky writers.
I take this job very, very seriously and think it's important for our young people to know that you can be from Kentucky, any part of Kentucky, and be a successful writer. You can be from Kentucky, from the hood to the holler, and be a successful writer.
Wilkinson announced a new podcast celebrating new and upcoming writers called Words for the People. Kentucky poet Frank X. Walker also shared two of his poems about gardening. You can rewatch the full celebration on Facebook and YouTube. We are learning how much money Chris Stapleton's A Concert for Kentucky raised for charity. The Herald Leader reports it raised more than $1 million. The show was sold out at Kroger Field. It's the first concert ever at the stadium. Willie Nelson, who's getting ready to turn 89, by the way, Sheryl Crow and Madeline Edwards also performed. The money is going to the Outlaw State of Kind Hometown Fund. That's Stapleton's and his wife's charity. Kentucky's first Buc-ee's has been in business for 1 week now. The massive travel center is just off I-75 in Richmond. We are hearing reports of traffic backups at times near the exit ramp. Crews installed new traffic lights to reduce congestion, but at last check, the lights are still not on. We do not know when they will be operating. We're reaching out to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to get a better timeline. President Biden spoke to Vice President Harris on the phone as she now quarantines at home with COVID-19. That development comes as the White House unveiled new plans to make a pill to treat COVID-19 available to millions more Americans. CBS's Wendy Gillette reports.
The Biden administration is taking steps to enable more Americans to get easy access to Pfizer's COVID treatment pill, Paxlovid.
We want to lower the severity of the disease that people get if they get infected and we want to lower the hospitalizations, we want to lower deaths.
The drug, which has been authorized for high-risk patients as young as 12, has been shown to reduce hospitalization and death from the virus by 90% if taken within the first 5 days of infection.
Treatments like these, vaccines that we have developed, these are the key essential tools that we're going to need to get through the rest of this pandemic.
Now that there's ample supply, the White House wants to make Paxlovid more available to lower-risk patients. Pharmacies can order the antiviral treatment directly from the federal government.
Currently, 22 pharmacies nationwide, including this CVS in the heart of Manhattan, offer one-stop shopping, COVID testing, a medical assessment, and a prescription for the antiviral pills.
We expect with this change that we will very quickly get to 30,000, and within the next couple of weeks, I expect us to get to about 40,000 sites.
As BA.2, a subvariant of Omicron, continues to circulate in multiple states, Vice President Harris has tested positive for COVID-19.
Individuals who test positive for here, and I can speak to this 2 times over, there you go. You don't return to work until you have received a negative test.
A statement released Tuesday from her press secretary says the vice president, who is fully vaccinated and boosted, has exhibited no symptoms and has not been a close contact to the president or first lady due to their respective recent travel schedules. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
New findings from the CDC show more than half of all Americans and around 3 in 4 children have now contracted the virus. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, a bonus from your credit card company, a lower cable bill, all perks that may be within reach, how you can flex your power as a consumer to boost savings.
And cool air continues through the remainder of the work week as high pressure works in. I've got the latest on when temperatures get back near average coming up.